Welcome to Oulton Park for rounds 10, 11 and 12 of the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. You join us in the holding area for race 1B, and although this is the slower part of the grid, it doesn't mean that the racing is any less close.
That's right, Lloyd. We are here at Oulton Park and the track is already drying up. It's slightly greasy in some corners, but it's going to be a thrilling weekend with only a second between first and third. Well, on that revelation, I'm going to hand it over to Jake Sanson to run us through the rest of the grid.
Oulton Park, damp and greasy conditions. Richard Wooden and Simon Orange on the front row from Chris Stapleton and Clive Chisnell. Nick Ledoyen and Alan Hawkins on the third row from Oliver Robinson and Callum Greatrex. Rounding out the top 10 for the first race of the weekend, Andrew McGregor and Jason Taylor. Then it's Jenkins and Hughes, Anthony Hutchins and Bryn Griffiths. Orlando Lyndsay lines up alongside Super Series and Super Cup regular George Grant. Burge, Whiteman, Fields End, McGregor, Rumsey and Bartlett round out the field. It's going to be a very interesting battle for the 22 drivers as they charge up to Old Hall for the first time. The 5-second board goes up. Let's see what these guys make of the Oulton Park circuit. Engine revs rising. Lights are on, wait for it. Let's race at Oulton Park. Good start initially from Simon Orange. Richard Wooden needs to shut that door early on, but he's going to get a terrible getaway. Really difficult start, and it looks to me as though he's going to be mugged by several drivers. Chris Stapleton's come through into second position, tucked in there behind Simon Orange as they filter through the first corner here at Old Hall, and a couple of them going off already. Oh dear, that's just about been corrected okay. Otherwise, a fairly clean start actually, as they make their way down towards, good defending there from Alan Hawkins to break himself into second place past Simon Orange. Really exciting start to this race then, and as we go through Cascades for the first time, there's no major damage. Clive Chisnell on the run for the first three positions. He's in fourth. He's going to try and squeeze both Hawkins and the 27 there of Stapleton. Can he get past them both? The answer at the moment is no, but then he gets very late on the brakes into Shell Oils and he's made it past both of them. Second position already. Wowee, that is such a sweet move there from Chisnell, and that puts him into second behind. Now we've got yellow flags on the entry to Shell Oil, so it looks as though we've lost somebody. Not entirely sure who. Well, I think that was actually withdrawn, the green flag, so I think whoever it was that went off has now got back on the circuit again. That's Callum Greatrex trying to move himself further up the order, having not had the most perfect of starts. But Simon Orange leads the way here from Chisnell. Hawkins in third position. Stapleton is there in P4. Really exciting start to this race as they make their way down into the chicane. Careful, chaps. That got very close. Oliver Robinson trying to make his dive on the inside of Nick Ledoyen and hasn't quite made that stick. Oh, no, that is Nick Ledoyen. My apologies. So Ledoyen's at the back of this queue rather than the front of it. On board with Stapleton. That is Hawkins in front of us as we go underneath the little bridge past the water tower. And this could be very interesting into Druids on the first lap. Cold tyres, twitchy car. Brakes still coming up to temperature. They're going to have to work very hard through this part of the apex as they continue to charge forward under Warwick Bridge, and look at the squabble further back behind the top three. Fourth place Stapleton still running well, but into fifth position, is that going to be Oliver Robinson making his way through? Looks like he's got there, so Robinson up into fifth position, and that's a big move from Greatrex and a massive twitch from the 56 of Thomas Jenkins, who just about saves that through Lodge. That was very close indeed to a nasty incident. The top two are broken clear. Here comes the third place man, Stapleton, into third place on Hawkins. Very nicely done. And some cracking racing. Looks like Richard Wooden's making his way back into the top five, or at least certainly going for it. He's up to sixth position now, so his pole position, unfortunately, has seen him drop down the order after a slow start, but there's plenty of time to make up as Nick Ledoyen throws it up the inside and moves up the order as well. And so there's some great battles in this race already as the drivers filter their way through Cascades. Once again, it's still too wide most of the corners, most of the way down the field, as Hawkins again has to work very hard to keep Stapleton at bay as they continue to squabble over third position. They're swapping places all the time, those two, as they continue to battle. Is this Jenkins up the inside of Adrian Burge into Shell Oils? Oh, it's a brave person who shoves the car up the inside there. Hasn't quite been able to get a good move on it, so has to wait for his perfect moment, and unfortunately that wasn't it. So he's going to continue to push forward. Still plenty of time to make up, still plenty of time to race, and the action is absolutely palpable at the moment as these guys continue to push through. Up the hill they will go, up and over the rise. Simon Orange out in front. Second place Clive Chisnell after that amazing move at Shell Oils. Fourth position is now Oliver Robinson in there behind Alan Hawkins. I'll tell you what, Nick Ledoyen's looking pretty feisty at the moment as he's battling there, I think, with the likes of Andrew McGregor. The 17 is in that mix. Now this is Greatrex, Hutchins, Battle continues on through. That's Paul Hughes. And then behind them is Burge. And then, of course, Tom Jenkins. So some really good racing through the field here as they come up and over the crest of the rise, past the water tower once again. And there's racing all the way down to this group here. 2 groups of racing to keep an eye on then in this midfield. There's Hughes, still being caught by the 7 of Adrian Burge, who's on a bit of a comeback charge, it has to be said. A little bit of grass kicked up there by Jenkins at Druids. That's a very good avoidance from a big accident. That could easily have been one as Burge looks for the inside of Hughes. Can't make it stick. Hughes is very wise to the manoeuvre, so manages to keep the car wide enough to stop Burge getting through. Some great racing. Here are the 2. Look, squealing brakes as they come through and squealing tyres. Getting very loud as they go through. We're on board with Stapleton. That is Wootton. Oh my goodness, these 2 have hit each other. That got very loose. They just made contact. And I think they're about to lose a place, or certainly Wootton is. Unless he can hold on to the inside line at Cascades. He has done so. The door is still wide open for Nick Ledoyen. And did he make it through? I'm not sure he did actually. Richard Wootton is still there. Then we've got McGregor in the mix as well. I think that's McGregor anyway. But look at the Doyen. He's got a good run off of Cascades. And now he's diving up the inside and makes up a place. Now he's going to tuck in behind Richard Wootton, the pole sitter, don't forget. And we're on board with a man who started 3rd, Chris Stapleton. Oh, Stapleton's gone wide. Oh, that's a big move from Wootton, and that's gone terribly, terribly wrong. Oh, dear. And a bit of a nudge for comfort in there as well. Stapleton clearly not happy with the way that's gone down. And I have to say, I can't really blame him. There's Richard Wootton's car having come to a standstill. Damage for him. I think damage for Burge as well. The 7's got some big damage to the car. So how on earth is that all going to shape up? So Orange and Chisnell are still way out in front. Then it's Hawkins in 3rd. Robinson in 4th. Ledoyen emerges in 5th position. Now, who is it that took the major punishment? We've got Greytrex and Hutchins coming towards us. But there's massive damage to the car in front that was in that little tussle for positions. Now I think that is Martin Tolley's teammate. Tolley, of course, racing in the previous group, in Group A. Not looking likely to go down, but I think that's the same stable. So I have a feeling that could actually be, well, we'll see as they come through this time. Greytrex and Hutchins still battling away for position. Now, whoever that is, I think got away with it on that particular occasion. There's so many cars that look alike in this particular field, and normally the numbers are on the windscreens, but for this particular occasion, it isn't that driver's got the number on the windscreen. I can normally tell. I think that is Andrew McGregor, though, the 17, who started at the sharp end of the field. So here's the battle for 3rd again. Hawkins trying to shake off Oliver Robinson as they go through Old Hall. Good racing between those 2. Robinson is just digging away, still pushing, relentless in his offence to move up into the lead. But Simon Orange is holding Clive Chisnell at bay for the moment. These 2 have broken well clear thanks to that incident between Richard Wootton and Chris Stapleton, in which I'm fairly sure both of those drivers are out of the race. That was a big hit. Oh, and a bit of a spin from Nick Ledoyen. Get it back on, Nick. Whoa, that's a very scary place to lose it up at Cascades as well. He gets the back end loose and somehow keeps the car pointing in a straight enough line. Yellow flags waving, of course, for the stricken cars of Stapleton and Wootton. Stapleton's car is still there, actually, on the inside line. Now, that could actually, potentially, wind up being a safety car, thinking about it, because that is a dangerous point on the circuit, technically speaking. We're on board with Chisnell as he closes up on Orange. At the moment, they've decided to do nothing about it. I'm guessing that's because it's on the inside line of the Shell Oils hairpin and not... It's on the outside. It would be very easy for a car to go off. It's a very obscure part of the circuit that he's gone off. So clearly they haven't judged that to be a dangerous part of the circuit, because he's on the infield rather than the outfield at the moment. And of course the car is not going to be moving anywhere else. There's all sorts of cars coming into the pits to get damage fixed, I should point out. But Chisnell is still chasing down Simon Orange. We're on board with him as they go past the water tower and up towards Druids. So this is where things are going to get very interesting for these 2 out front. They've just checked out and have left the rest of the field to squabble amongst themselves. Now, Ledoyen went off the circuit. I think he is still there in 5th position, but he's, I think, got Andrew McGregor to battle with now, the 17, who is charging forward. We'll try and pick up that battle a little bit later on. So Simon Orange in front of Clive Chisnell. They continue to squabble as they come off the turn, but now Simon Orange is getting into his stride. He's breaking clear and moving forward. So this is a good run from Simon Orange. And of course, if you finish in the top 5 in Group B, then you are promoted to Group A for the next race of the weekend. So a very good opportunity this for Simon Orange to prove that he should be in the A Group. He did have some problems in qualifying, actually, and that's where he has lost ground. Now here's the battle for 5th position. Nick Ledoyen still hanging on in there for the moment, but he's got some big pressure. Further back behind them, that is the ever-charging 56 of Tom Jenkins, who has now moved himself up into 7th position. So here's that battle for 5th. As they come through, is there a move on the inside? I thought Nick Ledoyen was going to get past there, but Callum Greatrex in the 34 in 8th position, just keeping a watching brief for a very wayward Jenkins. Goodness me, Jenkins getting loose on the exit of Cascades and somehow hanging on to it. Looks like this B group is going to be a little bit more leery than the previous category, the previous group, I should say. So they're in 9th position. That is the 17 of Andrew McGregor, actually. So the car up in front, I'm guessing then, has got to be Jason Taylor, the 132. He's the only other car really in that mix earlier on in the weekend. So that's got to be Jason Taylor in the 132. My apologies for the confusion there. So Jenkins has lost the place to Greatrex. Greatrex standing on the car's throttle beautifully out of the Cascades turn and has moved his way up into 7th position. But look at McGregor getting leery, trying to come through as well as they come up over Hilltop. Here's the battle for 5th position. That's still Nick Ledoyen and Jason Taylor. But into 6th position, these guys want to get. So Jenkins has fought his way back past Greatrex once again. And then we've got McGregor and Hutchins part of the battle as well. Some spectacular racing from these guys as they continue their charge out of Knickerbrook, up Clay Hill once more. And the battle is well and truly joined between these guys in 5th and 6th. Still a good battle between Ledoyen and Taylor. But Ledoyen has really got to hang on to it, and he's still got to try and shake off that little off he had at Cascades. So they come up and over the crest out of Druids, under the Warwick Bridge. So still a good battle with these guys as they battle. So Jenkins, Greatrex, McGregor, that's the 17 of Andrew McGregor. Neil McGregor's a little bit further back in the field. And then in 10th position, that is still Anthony Hutchins pursuing a move further forward. These guys having a terrific scrap over 7th position, and it's going to be any one of these 4 that gets there. Up the inside, that's McGregor. Andrew McGregor making his move. Greatrex holds it round the outside. That was brave. Really, really good stuff between those two, and they continue to battle away. So some really exciting racing. It's getting very close for 5th position. I think that was Jason Taylor making his bid to get past Nick Ledoyen. Has he got through, though? That's the big question. At the moment, it looks to me as if it's exactly the same. Yes, in fact, it looks to me as though Jason Taylor initially made the move, then had to get out of the throttle, and he's backed up. So he's still there in 6th position. I don't think he went off the circuit as such, or at least I didn't see him go off the circuit. But he has now had to hold his position there in 6th place. Jenkins and Greatrex are going to be chasing him down, though. So Jason Taylor in 6th position with a little bit of damage to his car. He couldn't really avoid it, actually, because Stapleton and Wootton were having their own incident. Wootton clearly seeing that when Stapleton ran wide at the Shell Oils help and there was enough space to get through. Stapleton thought otherwise, or Wootton realised otherwise a little bit too late, depending on your point of view. And they ended up taking each other out of the race, rather sadly. So here over the crest again, Nick Ledoyen hanging on in front of Jason Taylor. A late lunge from McGregor. Is he going to find a way past Greatrex? No, he's never going to get through there. Never in a month of Sundays when it's Callum Greatrex, the man from Cardiff, hanging on in there to the inside line. So Callum is trying to get himself back up to the A group, but he's really struggling to at the moment because the pace is very much with the 3rd and 4th and 5th place cars further up the road. So they are well clear. 5th position, that final place in the A group is being debated at the moment between Nick Ledoyen and Jason Taylor, the 132. There's Callum Greatrex still trying to keep tabs on the man who has got well clear in front of him, actually. Tom Jenkins in the 56 has pulled out a nice little cushion there into 7th position. McGregor looking for 8th on the inside. He's going to leave that late. Hutchins is going to follow them into the corner. Has he got space to get through? Yes, he has, because there's no damage between those two, and McGregor has made the move stick. He's over to 8th position, so a good run there from Andrew McGregor. And that puts him into 8th. Greatrex is going to come straight back at him into Old Hall. Don't you dare overtake me, sunshine. I've got this. And he moves his way through. Tries again on the exit, though. This could be another opportunity, as McGregor, I think, is going to get him straight back. Yes, he does. So they've swapped positions. 3 times. Make that 4, is it? No, not quite. Greatrex has to hang back in the end. I thought they were going to swap 4 times in as many corners there for position. But very nicely done indeed. And now Greatrex is going to get a good exit off the turn and get alongside McGregor. Keep an eye for Hutchins, though. He's going to want to try and come through as well. So Greatrex storms up the inside. Back into 8th position he goes. Really good racing between these two. Greatrex and McGregor swapping positions very nearly each corner they go round on this Oulton Park circuit. Fantastic racing. Keep it up, boys. It's really nail-biting stuff here at Oulton Park as they continue to charge around this beautiful little circuit. So up to Britons, into the chicane, left, right. Looks like Jason Taylor's really getting on with it on the back of... and not off there from Greatrex. Greatrex getting the mistake on the second part of the exit at Britons, and that's, of course, the real headache for Greatrex because he's now right into the clutches of that man in 9th position. So that's going to be very tough for Andrew McGregor to get through, but he's now got a glimmer of hope to do it because obviously Greatrex is really struggling to keep the car on the road at the moment. So there goes Andrew McGregor chasing him down. Now, the guys in front of this, 5th, 6th and 7th, are very close together now, which means that Tom Jenkins has got very close to the back of Nick Ledoyen and Jason Taylor. There he is, catching them. Greatrex is still there in 8th. He seems to have shaken off the 17 and McGregor for the moment, but keep an eye on Anthony Hutchins in the 80. He will want to be charging hard after these guys. And he's still there trying to get some pace. Side by side for 5th position, I think I saw under the Warwick Bridge. Yes, indeed. Is this going to be the immortal move from Jason Taylor? No, it is not. But he's definitely working hard to get there. So as they come up over Deerleap, they're going into the last lap up in front. They've been on the last lap for a fair while, actually. We've been waiting for these guys to come around. But this is for the last place in the A group of the second race of the weekend. So Nick Ledoyen hanging on in front of Jason Taylor for dear life, and the back end steps out. Jason Taylor going to try again. Up towards the avenue. Dropping down through the right flick, up towards Cascades. Can Jason Taylor get this move done? Nick Ledoyen goes wide at Cascades, not wide enough. And Jason Taylor still determined to try and come by. Tom Jenkins is catching both of them. What if he could steal it from the pair? Well, it looks like Jason Taylor's lining up a move to come by, but he hasn't quite got the position on the track yet. So he swings by once more. As they come into the turn, this is the chance for Jenkins to throw it up the inside. But he knows that he's never going to get through into the A group if he lets Jenkins through. So Jason Taylor gets across into the braking zone at the Shell Oils, gets to the right side, stops him coming through. Beautiful bit of defending there from Taylor, who I have to say, it's very lucky that his car is working at all after clouting Stapleton and Wootton. Brakes very late into Britons. He's going to get side by side with Nick Ledoyen. They bang wheels as they come off the turn, and here comes Jenkins on the left side. They go over Hilltop. This is going to get pretty spicy now as they come down to the braking zone for Hislops. Somebody's going to have to concede, and it's not Nick Ledoyen. So Ledoyen's gone through. Jenkins has got through into 6th position. In all of that, I missed that. Jenkins has gone into 6th place now, so that's made Jason Taylor's job all that more difficult. But out in front, there is Simon Orange, who's got himself a decent enough gap over Clive Chisnall. That's really worked out in his favour. Chisnall coming out of the final turns as well now. A 2nd place, valiant for him after that first lap masterstroke. But it's a victory for Simon Orange. He goes through to the A group in delighted fashion. Chisnall through in 2nd place. Oliver Robinson is going to finish ahead there of Alan Hawkins. There he is, 3rd and 4th. Good result from them. Who's going to get 5th? It is just going to be Nick Ledoyen. So Nick Ledoyen joins Orange, Chisnall, Robinson and Hawkins in the A group. Fantastic battle Nick Ledoyen had there to get himself into the top 5. 6th place for Jenkins, 7th for Taylor. Greatrex, Andrew McGregor and Anthony Hutchins rounding out the top 10. No major surprises to see Simon Orange as the fastest man of the race. George Grant all the way up to 11th. Good fight back from him. Neil McGregor 12th with Graham Rumsey. Fieldsend, Bartlett, Lyndsay, Whiteman and Griffiths, with retirements, of course, from Hughes, Wootton and Stapleton. And Adrian Burge caught up in that incident as well. What drama at Oulton Park.
Congratulations, Simon. That was one race for you.
Thank you, Lyndsay. Yeah, it was good. Back in the A's now, that's where we want to be.
So have you got any plans going into this afternoon?
Yeah, just got to try and stay in the A's and move upwards. So
do you think you're set up, or you've got anything planned to go into it now the track's drying out?
No, we've got a good setup thanks to BS Motorsport. They've done a good job on the car, so we'll see how good they've done. If we can move up the A's, then we can test it out.
Brilliant. We'll look forward to seeing you.
Thanks very much. Thanks a lot.
Clyde, congratulations on your first podium and your first bit of silverware.
Yeah, that's going to be good. I'll need to buy a cabinet to put this in, and let's hope it's only the first of many.
Certainly, and going up into the A's for the next race, looking forward to that?
No, because the A's is definitely a big challenge, and just trying to get out of the bottom 5 is an immense challenge. So for me, if I can do that, that'll be absolutely fantastic. I have to say, I'm only here because of BC Cars and the fantastic job that they've done in working on the car and getting me out there.
Well, we look forward to seeing you this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Oliver, that was a fantastic race. Can you talk us through it?
Yeah, had a great start. Started 7th and pulled it up to 3rd. Very bumpy at the start, let's say, but just kept my head down, kept on with it. Track was good, drying out. That was all good. Setup superb on the car. Got to thank the team for that. Paul Austin and his team, brilliant.
So do you feel like you've got a good way around the track now it's drying out?
Yeah, absolutely. Know exactly where to go, where to brake, what to do. All I've got to do is do it.
Fantastic. Well, we'll see you this afternoon.
Thank you very much.